Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello, thank you for joining us again. I know we've got 2 lives running at the moment, which is really confusing for you guys, but we can do it. You can watch one live and you can watch the other one when the other one finishes. See, we can fix it for you. Hi, Kaz. It's great to hear from you. I hope you're well. Hi, Ricky. I can see that you're watching. Thank you for joining in. Thank you guys for putting up with me today. We've been live to you guys 3 times today and we're back again tomorrow. So it is so great to see so many different people joining in from around the world, and doing it at different times has allowed me to make friends and meet people all around the world, which is really great. Some new music friends, and we'll have some more shows like that coming to you in the next few months, which is really exciting. As I mentioned earlier today, we do have a competition running. We are trying to do it across all platforms, and it's starting to become very confusing. So I think what we're probably going to do is we're going to put it up tonight for this, and we will draw it through. I'll put a date that we'll draw it. We'll draw it throughout Tamworth, but we're going to put it on each platform, and everybody that enters on each platform, they'll go into the draw. So we'll draw it in one form, but all the entries will go from each, so that nobody's missing out. We have got Blake Dantier waiting for us very patiently in the green room, so we might welcome him into the room. Hello.
Hey.
It feels so strange. It's 8 o'clock at night. Normally it's, early, and it was still dark at 6:30. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's hanging out in old rainy Sydney. It's always dark.
Rainy Sydney. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all. It sounds to me like you guys have been doing pretty well, though. Back out on the road finally.
Yeah, finally. Actually playing shows and stuff. Just last weekend, we got up to Toowoomba, which was nice and sunny, and we played Meat Stock up there, which was very nice experience. It's just a whole lot of meat, a whole lot of American barbecue and country music.
Is that your first time? Was that your first time going?
Yeah. So I hadn't experienced the greatness that is Meat Stock. Ironically, all the artist meals were vegan. So
you're joking.
Not sure what happened there.
They'd run out of meat.
Yeah, only for the VIPs, the meat.
Wow, that's funny. But was the crowd great? Was there lots of people finally out enjoying it?
Yeah, which it's just incredible to see people again. Getting out there. It's just the last 2 years didn't happen, and we just back to how things were.
Yeah, we're back. We are back. It's rolling. It might be slow, but we can handle slowly rolling in as long as we keep going forward. And it's so close. Are you heading to Tamworth next week as well?
Yeah, wouldn't miss it. I think I'm just keen for the hangs to see everybody again.
See everybody. It's going to be so strange. It's been nearly 3 years since we've all seen each other, and I think we're going to be like, oh, who's that? Is that really them? And we've seen them through the screen, but not in person.
Yeah, people look different on screens.
So many people have joined in. Kaz said that she missed out live, but she's here to watch you. And funny, the vegan food. Yeah, that I would not have been impressed. I'd have been
it was still great.
It was still good. And Scott said that you're heading up to Hervey Bay soon, and he's looking forward to seeing you up there. When do you head up that way?
Yeah, end of the month. It's the late 20-something of this month. We're going up there with Jane Denham, so we're doing we're doing Batinia on the Sunshine Coast, and then up to Hervey Bay, and then we're coming back down to Ipswich, which should be a lot of fun. Hopefully it's sunny.
This is like your last few nights at home for the rest of the month almost.
Yeah, it's a crazy busy month, and you throw in all the public holidays and Easter and Anzac Day and stuff in there, and it's just this month is just nuts.
It's so good. It's absolutely fantastic. But we still have your album that you released at the end of March. Tell us how that's going, because we've been waiting for this album, it feels like, for so long, and it's finally here. What have people been telling you, and tell us how the release was going for you?
Yeah, I've been waiting for so long. We threatened to release this last year, I think, but you know, things being what they were, it's like you could plan, but you couldn't really pick what was going to happen. So we pushed it back, and we pushed it back again. And finally it's here. So I feel like I've been listening to these songs for ages.
These aren't new songs, no.
Yeah, they're certainly not new to me anymore. So, you know, having it out there, it's like, it's really great to hear what other people have to say about it. And I like to ask people what their favorite track is, because obviously I've listened to them all so much, and, you know, I don't know what the best track is.
I was actually thinking that when I was having a listen, and I thought, I wonder if you had a best track before the pandemic, you know, when you started writing, because it was 2019 when you started preparing for all of this, wasn't it? And you've written so much for it. But like, did you have a favorite before all that sort of lockdown happened and you couldn't release, and then a different one now that it's out again? Or has it sort of stayed the same your whole way through?
I think Ash and Dust, which was the first single off the album, was my favorite at the beginning. But then later on down the track, I wrote Wish You Were My Beer. And then that one has been my favorite ever since then.
See, I actually really like Dry Season too. I think that just, I don't know, there's just something about that as well. I don't think there's one on there that you can sit there and say you don't like. And it depends on what you're doing when you're listening to it too. Because I Wish You Were My Beer, that often comes on the radio when I'm driving. Well, I haven't been driving for a little while, but when I'm driving and out, and I hear that, and I love that. It's a great driving song. And then, there's just so much fun on this album. And
that's what I'm trying to get across. Just some country music that you can you know, sort of just like groove to, or just, you know, or drive to, just stuff that's good fun.
It is, it's fun, it's easy listening, but then at the same time, if you really want to focus, you pick up different things, and I think you've reached so many different people with that. And I've heard some great things about this album, but tell us about, because you've had it ready for so long, did you chop and change songs and things because you were sitting on it, or did you just, when it was done, you kept it at that and left it?
Yeah, because I had a bit of downtime, I guess. Like, I started working on things. I was like, I'm going to become a better guitar player. I'm going to become a better songwriter. And, you know, so I kind of started woodshedding all these things. And then I had these songs that, you know, I'd already recorded. But I was like, I've got songs, like I can use them as practice to rewrite things. So like, I knew that was a bad idea at the time, because it's like, I shouldn't rewrite it. It's already done. But then, you know, here's a song that I can practice on. So, you know, actually I did it with Ash and Dust, actually, after we'd already recorded it and everything. And then I rewrote it, you know, just for fun, just to sort of practice becoming a better songwriter. And then, of course, after that, it was like, what I've written.
And now I've wasted all this time recording.
Is better. Yeah. So we had to go back and record it again. And
how much did you change? Did you change it a fair bit to the original?
Oh, not heaps. Like, you know, all the melodies and all the music stayed the same. It was kind of just like every line changed, like I guess, the lyrics completely changed. But the whole, you know, the intent of the song was all the same. I just changed the actual words, because I thought they were just more interesting, you know. So it was easy to like just slot the new lyrics into the song. Nothing really had changed.
It just did a few little words here and there. Kaz said that, what has she said here? Don't Say When is her current favorite. She loves them all. Yeah. Why is that your favorite at the moment, Kaz? Let us know. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from and what your favorite song is on the album, if you've heard it all. When you've been building up to this release and you've released all your singles, but are you planning on releasing more videos and more singles from this album, or are you going to go straight on to something different, a new project?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because I don't really like the fact that it seems like people release an album these days, and then, you know, like 6 months later, here's a new song from.
It's not a new song.
Yeah, that's not on the album.
Yeah, it's confusing. Yeah.
I think it is, but it kind of, the way that sort of people consume music these days, that it's like a singles world rather than an albums world. It kind of seems to be the way things are going, and I don't like that.
I agree. I like to hold the album. I like to read it cover to cover. I like to feel it. I'm definitely would prefer vinyl, but at the same time, a CD is still easy to transport you going in the car or something. If you don't want to, if you've got no reception, you don't want to stream, it is more sensible to go to CD. But the sound of vinyl, I still love. I think that's probably my favorite way of listening to an album and reading it.
There's definitely something special about it, and it's like so big. Like you can put so much into the package. Like you can have.
I could not agree more. Even, I even like the old tapes. I still have cassettes. I still have all my cassettes from growing up, and I still like listening to them as well.
Well, you've actually got something to play them on too.
I do. I've got quite a few. I've got a lot of. I've got quite a few record players and quite a few tape players. So I'm set. They all still work too.
They could be worth a bit of money. That stuff's coming back in style.
I should probably stop using them, shouldn't I? Let them go. What has Kaz said? She said they're all good. Actually, you're an album girl. And yeah, you like the whole story. I agree, because and that's the thing with a lot of people don't probably understand that. It is a singles world now, and it is how music is going. And I guess that's sort of what people want. But when you release a body of work, it's a story. You're going on a journey with that person, and I don't know how you could tell that in just one song.
Yeah, there's some songs that they're not fit to be singles.
Yeah,
they're too long for radio, or they're not upbeat enough to be on a playlist. So it's like the only way they fit is in between those songs that are suitable on an album, though. And without the album, there's just no place for those songs. But they're still great songs.
And that's the thing. And quite often, they're even the ones that people remember after the album has sort of been and gone. Those songs that weren't often released as singles are quite often the ones that people go, "Oh, did you like this one?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, that wasn't on radio." And if you can't do that, what do you do? Those songs are just lost, and you play them live maybe, but people don't get to listen to it again unless they see you live. I don't know how that.
Yeah, that would be weird.
This doesn't work. So you've been writing for this for quite some time. What are you planning on doing? I know you're heading out on the road for a fair bit of this year, as much as you can. Can people? Have you got everything ready? Have you got album copies and merchandise ready to go, all with you?
Yes, everything is good to go. I was just wondering if I had one here. I've got a copy of Cass's album. Cass's album is out now too.
That is so good. You guys, the artwork. Who did your artwork for your album?
Yeah, I love Cass's artwork. It's so good.
Yeah,
for mine, it's a guy that I found in Western Australia, in Exmouth. He does art where he kind of like it's like liner, and it's black, and then he like scratches out what he wants.
I've done some of that. Yeah.
It's really cool art, like it, and that's how he put together this whole like motel that's on the front cover of Dry Season. It's like, I'm so glad I found him, because it was just the perfect thing. All I gave him as a brief was some pictures of Palm Springs, California, and that was pretty much it. I was like, I love that, desert meets weird architecture and palm trees and stuff. Just
did he listen to the whole album first and then sort of build it from that, and from your explanation?
Yeah, he did. I think artists like to listen to the music so they can get the vibe makes sense to me.
It does to me too. And I guess, you read, and because I guess it's like before I have someone on the show, I listen to the album before I read the press release. If I've got an option, I like to listen to it and make up my own thoughts and ideas, and then read what you've said. And I like to sort of compare my head and see if I'm smart enough to have picked up on those things or not. Not that smart all the time, but and then I like to, and I think that's what, if you were going to do, you'd like to listen, and then listen to your stories, and then piece it together with what you've imagined and what you're telling the stories as you go. That would be what I would think an artist would want to do for drawings and pictures.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like on what you're saying there, it's like when you listen to music, it's there's kind of like what the artist intended, and then there's just what you get out of it. And you know, I don't think they necessarily have to be the same thing.
No,
I think if you think it's something else, but that's not what the artist actually intended, I don't think that really matters. Like, you know, I just think there's two sides to a song.
Do you like
each
that?
one of those is important.
Yeah. And do you like when people come up to you and say what they took out of a song? Do you find that really interesting in the fact that you get different sides through other people as well?
Yeah, totally. Because it's like sometimes it's like, oh, that's it's not what I was going for, but hey, if you like it.
Yeah. It's good. I love that side of it as well. Kaz has said she loves Cass's album too. That's only been out very, very recently. Well, I don't even know what date it is right now. But
it was last week. Last Friday it came out.
Friday, yeah. So you both got albums out in the world. Did you deliberately space them apart just that little bit?
When we started this whole thing, it was sort of like you said earlier, I was planning this album in 2019. And you know, like I'd planned out, I had this whole like 18 months kind of plan about when everything was going to come out, but then COVID kind of stuffed it all up. But I'd planned to release my first single in April, and then Cass was like, oh, you know, I want to put music out too. So, you know, she went in and recorded her first song, Shots, and then was like, yeah, I'm going to put mine out in March. Like, just a month before yours. And I was like, oh, okay, all right then. But it turned out to be really good for me, because then I could kind of just see what she did and be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do that too.
That works, yeah.
So
well,
I was wondering when we were gonna. I was wondering when we were finally gonna like match up, and you know, we got pretty close with this album release thing.
It has been, but it's really good because they're two very different albums. You guys have got such individual styles, but then you work so well together as a team as well. I know that everyone always asks you, are you going to be putting out a duet at some point? Have you found? Because last time I spoke to you, you hadn't found that song yet.
We've been talking about it, and there is this one song that we've got that we've been thinking could be the one. So and you know, like although I just said before, I like the album thing and I don't like the bringing out new music straight away thing. It has been 2 years since I wrote these songs, so it's like I've got a lot more songs. So you know, I could easily pick one and we could put it out, and one of those might be a duet. We'll see.
It's interesting. I was going to ask you when we came back from you doing a song. I was going to ask you what you've been working on since this, and how much it sort of changed the storyline for going from this album to what you've been working on since all of these. So I'll let you do a song if you're still feeling up to it, and I'll come back and we can find out all of that as well.
Yeah, I got a guitar.
You got one there? Just one, you know. One.
Yeah, I've got quite a few things here.
I will let you have the room.
All right. Well, I'll do Don't Say When, because it's Kaz's favorite. Granddad liked a stiff drink, straight scotch or red wine. I was always too young, but I guess now it's time. I didn't think our first drink would go down like this. In a room of sad faces gathered round to reminisce. I propose a toast to the man who brought us here. No Christmas or birthday would be the same again for years. No matter when it happened, it would always be too soon. So pick your poison, raise a glass, don't say when. Let's break out the good stuff that we've been saving up for something, and pass that bottle around until it gets down to nothing. I ain't trying to forget, I don't want to feel no. I just know if he were here, this is what he would have done. And I propose a toast to the man that brought us here. No Christmas or birthday would be the same again for years. No matter when it happened, it would always be too soon. So pick your poison, raise a glass, don't say when. And when that glass is empty, I hope it brings back every little memory. And I propose a toast to the man that brought us here. No Christmas or birthday would be the same again for years. No matter when it happened, it would always be too soon. So pick your poison, raise a glass, say cheers to the past, but don't say when.
Thank you so much. Everyone was lots of love hearts and lots of things. Kaz said to say thanks, and Jane has popped in and said hello as well.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Well, I could. This album is one that I'm going to be listening to for a long time. And as I said to you before, I've played it for a few people and gone, this is what everyone's been saying. You know, they want a country album. This is the album. This is the album that people.
Here it is, guys. Yep, get around it. It's as country as I can make it.
It definitely is, and it's fun. You've got your duet you did with Adam Harvey on there as well. That would have been a great experience and fun recording and doing things with Adam. I imagine lots of learning things from him too.
Yeah, it was really cool to have him come in and do that vocal. I'm sure if you listen very carefully, like very, very carefully, you might be able to hear his dog breathing in the background. He took it in with him when he did his vocal take. I guess I mean, he brought his dog in the first place, but I guess the dog didn't want to hang out with us while he was in the vocal booth, so it went in with him.
Is that the Labrador that he has that he got from a puppy and he's just turned into this huge... Wow, that is funny. She didn't want to hang with you guys. What's wrong with her? Did he have food in his pockets?
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's so well trained. She doesn't want to hang out with anybody other than Adam.
It was Dolly. Yeah, Dolly the megastar.
Yeah, she's on the album. She didn't get credited, but she's on the album.
Oh, she's tried so hard. You need to get her in the photo next time. In the film clip. It has to have the dog in the film clip. So you've been, as you said, you've been writing. You've made the most of these last 2 years in isolation. You and Cass have both, really tried hard to make the most of it. You've had some fun. We've sort of seen you along the way. But you were just saying you've been writing, so sort of you've obviously got a fair bit of material ready for your next project. Is it quite similar, or are we going down a different storytelling path when you get some more music coming?
Yeah, it's been interesting because over the time period that I have had, I probably haven't written as much as I would have liked to.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like you kind of got to be out there living life to want to write about it. There was a lot of time where I didn't want to write anything because I just didn't feel like it, so I just focused my energy onto other things like guitar. But I have written some songs, and some of them I feel like are just like extension of Dry Season, like 5 more tracks that easily could have just been on this album as well.
Because you haven't got to release this album, so you haven't lived through this album to then move forward in your recording and your writing. So you're still kind of in that same zone, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is like that, you know, once you get to release that album, yeah, I feel like I can emotionally move on from that period. I mean, I still love writing that kind of country music, and like Alan Jackson is a big one of my heroes. And
did you get to see him live? Have you got to see him live?
No, I would love to.
He came to Australia a few times, a few years back now. Quite a few years, I think now. I don't know.
It was before I knew of him. So,
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I didn't know what I was missing out on. But I think his sound, like he released an album last year, and it kind of just sounds the same as the albums he released in the 90s.
Yeah,
it's like he hasn't really compromised on that sound very much, and it's still great.
It is. It's still, you know, how many people do you hear going 90s music, 90s country? Well, 90s music in general was huge, and it still is. But you listen to radio, you listen to music playlists, and I think we're all still listening to the 90s country music. It's still got that power. So why not keep it going? Why do we have to change? It's
got a lot of love.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are being influenced by it now as well. Like, you know, myself included. I think you're kind of seeing that come back in modern music.
Yeah, because you didn't grow up loving country music and as much, like you've come from a multiple background of different genres and different influences. What was it that got you sort of right into the country side? Is it sort of just didn't have exposure to it, or?
Yeah, I didn't know about it at all. Like I just didn't even know it was a genre of music until I was about 17. You know, I grew up in like Western Sydney, like Penrith, and sort of the Blue Mountains is where I went to school. And just country music around here is not a thing. Like people do not really listen to country music, or you just don't really hear about it. You'll never see it live anywhere.
Wow.
So like I was just kind of into classic rock, you know, and that sort of evolved into metal. And my brother, I kind of just followed my brother's music choices. So, you know, he got really into glam rock and British heavy metal. So did I. And then eventually there came a point where I started finding music that I enjoyed by myself. And my dad had a pretty big CD collection. And in that, which I'd never heard him play these CDs ever, but he had a Faith Hill CD and a Shania Twain CD. And maybe he just bought them for the pretty girls on the front cover. Because he'd never played it. And then I got him one time and played it. And I was like, whoa, what is this? You know, like this pedal steel guitar, these fiddles, I need to hear more of this. So from that point on, it was sort of like I was in, you know, I just wanted to know more and more. And I started listening to all of it. And that's when I discovered the more old school stuff like Waylon Jennings, Hank Williams, Mel Haggard. And then Alan Jackson, Brooks and Dunn stuff that kind of influenced this album. So, you know, I love it all now.
It's so cool listening to you say that, because I didn't grow up not in the country. Tasmania is the country, really, isn't it? But I grew up in a school where I was the one girl at school that liked country music. No one else did. And I remember coming home and Mum would say, well, I'll buy you these CDs that they're all listening to and you can learn them and just pretend you like them. And I was not compromising. It was no from me. It was, I like this stuff and I don't care what they like. I don't want to be around them if they don't like me because I like this. Like, this is how much I like this genre. And the thing is now, those people are all listening to country. So, you know, but the whole idea and that was what started what we're doing here, is because there's so many people out there that don't get the chance to know what country music is or what music is. And that's, you know, these platforms allow people that don't necessarily get that where they are or don't get to go and see it live. And that's, you know, it's great that people are starting to do that.
Yeah.
It's
fun. The world, well, like I listen to those on CD, but now you can just go online and find whatever you want. Like, you can just type in a genre and here you go. Here it is. All is.
It's still not the same, is it?
It's not the same. It was, I really, and you used to be really proud of your collection too. Like, I was really proud of the collection of music that I had amassed. And then streaming came along and it was like, oh, so none of this means anything anymore? Everybody has this now?
I went and got a massive bookshelf made with the right width for your CDs to go in, so that they're just the right height, so they'd stand up next to each other. And nobody does that anymore, but I've still got it. I still use it.
It's great having that though, being able to see them all and like pick one out, put it on.
Yeah, and then when you're having a really miserable day and you just want a music day, and then you find yourself reordering them and keeping on playing and moving them where they sit. Oh, that one works well with that album, and I've done that many times. It's a bit sad probably, but it's true. Oh dear. So film clips for these ones, you think you're probably going to settle now with what you've already released, because you've released some really cool clips over the last little bit, with considering how much you couldn't get out and do them. So you think you're probably not going to release any more now?
I would actually really love to do some more clips, because I have some ideas for clips for songs, that I hadn't released as singles. The only thing stopping me is the money. Yes. Clips are expensive, and I just spent a lot of money on an album. So we'll see. But I have these ideas that I really love, and I just would really love to get them communicated through video, because I think they're so cool. I just think videos are awesome. It
adds another layer to the story. Yeah, they are. It's hard to do, but it just adds that next layer to your story that you're telling, and it's like your artwork. It goes right through. Yeah, I cannot wait to hear the next lot of music, but I'm so glad that we're finally getting this current body of music out, and it honestly feels like it's been such a long journey, and you guys are out there touring. Where else are you going to head? You're going to Tamworth, you've been to Queensland, you're heading back to Queensland. Where else around the country are we going to see you?
Yeah, I think we're going down to Victoria for a little bit. That's later on in the year, like August, I believe. And I'm doing a show in Sydney on June 9, I believe it is. It's a Thursday, with Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers, which we've been trying to tee up this like show to do together for ages, because they're also releasing some really cool old school sounding country music.
They are.
And it was just sort of like, guys, we're doing like the same thing. This is awesome. Like, let's do a show together. And we finally got it to happen. So we're doing something at the Vanguard on June 9, which I'm stoked about, because that's going to be awesome.
Yes. That's going to be great fun. You need to do a few lives from there. Get someone on the camera for those of us that can't get there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Live streaming is out of my mind since we've gone back to real shows.
Yeah. So where can we get tickets for your shows? Is the best place still social media, Facebook, Instagram, or your website?
Yeah, I mean, it all Facebook, Instagram, it all points back to the website too, so it should be easy enough. I mean, the website is the ultimate place, I suppose. Yeah. You can't get them there yet, but they will be available.
They'll be there soon. I'm just going to keep an eye out it, because but now your music is out, we can all listen to it. Can people order from you if they're not going to make a show? Can they order the hard copy?
Yes. Bandcamp's the place. So you can access that through my website or Facebook or Instagram or anything. It'll all take you to Bandcamp, and you can pay what you want for the CD, meaning you can pay me more than what it's worth if you desire. So no need to. You can pay the actual price. So
pay me what you want. $1, yeah. Thanks. You're probably getting more of that with that $1 than you are from streaming it. So.
Oh yeah. Even $1 is better than what Spotify be giving me.
Yeah, exactly right. It's sad, isn't it? But it's the way of the world, and I guess it also has the reverse of, if someone can't afford an album or they can't get close, at least it's still allowing them to support you in a form.
Yeah. Well, when I started trying to collect music and CDs and stuff, I couldn't afford them.
No.
I could only really afford to buy a CD a month. So, I'd go to JB Hi-Fi or something and pick out whatever CD I was going to get that month. It's like,
how hard was it to pick it out though? Because I used to have the same problem. I'd get there and be like, oh, I want that, and I want. Then you come back next week, and there's more there of different ones. Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of it just came down to the album covers. Yes, you just pick a lot of stuff because it looks cool.
It was so important. Your marketing and your first picture on the album, it was huge back then, and now you can have different ones on every song because it's different screen. So, but yeah, it was that sort of thing was so important. So I love that it's changed in some ways, but I also miss those traditional music things that we used to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know I've taken up a lot of your night and you've been traveling through traffic. You're probably exhausted and hungry by now.
I am hungry, yeah.
You're heading to Tamworth next week. Where can people see you in Tamworth before we go?
The 50th anniversary concert on Thursday. I'm going to be at that. I'm going to be singing a song with Cass and Charlie Fitler. I haven't met him yet, but people keep telling me good things about him, so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm at the Big Golden Guitar on the Friday, which is at 11 a.m. And I'm playing the Fan Zone stage at 11:30 also on the Thursday. So whatever dates they are, if you go into Tamworth, well, you probably know. So
yeah, it'll be in the guide. But Tamworth is going to be on steroids this year because everyone's trying to fit it into such a short time. But it's going to be fun, and I am really, really jealous that I won't get to walk Peel Street when it's cooler. I wish I could make it.
That's going to be a great thing.
Yeah.
Not getting that crazy Tamworth heat.
Yeah. The last time I walked Peel Street with the busking, it was 46-degree heat. And it was hot standing down there watching all the busking and doing interviews. And it got to the point where my computer and my camera, it actually overheated and I couldn't do any more interviews for a little while. I had to shut it all down and take it in and cool it down in the media room, but I couldn't do interviews because it was so noisy in there. So it won't happen. It's like dream time. But anyway, so have a great time next week. I hope Cass has a great time as well. And we'll hope to have you back very soon. And I want to see you out on the road, hopefully.
Yeah. We're going to be getting around. Around to as many places as we can.
Cannot wait. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And guys, we'll be back tomorrow night with a show, but I can't tell you it is right at this second because it's not in front of me and we're just waiting on confirmation, but we will be back at 7:00 tomorrow night. Not 7 a.m. like it was this morning, which is really good. Do you know how you've got to get up so early to do a 7 a.m. show because there's a lot to it before we go live.
You wouldn't get me up for that.
No, not even for a Country Kickback show. But thank you, Blake. It's great to have you on as always. And everybody, thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you. See you later.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.